Hello, everybody. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the Sunday Night League. We are here in Daytona, Florida, United States of America. We are here in Daytona for the road course version of this circuit, of course. Here for Formula X, it's round 7 of our 12th season of Formula X. It is, of course, the penultimate round of this championship. When we conclude this race, there will only be one round left. Today, we race at Daytona. Next week, we race at Fuji, and that is when the championship will be decided. Or could it be decided today? Mathematically, that is possible. It is very unlikely, but mathematically it is possible for the championship to be decided in this race. So we will go through that shortly. But first, as always, it's time to go through the grid. So, let's get started. First and foremost, pole position. It's the man that we're getting quite used to seeing up here, at least at the front, and often in first itself. It is Gasman for McLaren qualifying on mediums. So it's a medium tire taking pole position this week at the hands of Gasman in the McLaren, number 89. Next up on the grid, second place is Bondimus. Bondimus qualified on mediums as well. Most drivers qualified on mediums, but not all of them. We'll see where the exceptions start to come in. Third place was Wendigo, also on mediums. He qualifies on the second row of the grid, does the Cadillac driver. Fourth is Ajax for Ferrari. Ajax also qualifies on mediums. As you can see, it is becoming quite a trend to qualify on mediums at this round. Next up, we have Clemecision, number 23 for Audi. Clemecision qualified on soft compound tires. He qualifies 5th. He's the first of our non-medium runners. Sixth place, whoa, the camera moved quickly there. Sixth place is Aloe, the second of the Ferraris on the grid. Aloe qualified also on soft compound tires. So softs have qualified 5th and 6th so far. Next up is Ragemus. Ragemus, the second of the Team Lotus cars. Ragemus will be taking over full-time for the remainder of the season in the place of Super Toxic, who we are sorry to see go for the remainder of the season, but we hope to have him back soon enough, perhaps, in our next season. But for now, it's Ragemus taking his seat. Ragemus, we are very pleased to have back, of course. Ragemus qualified on medium compound tires for Lotus. Next up, it's the reigning champion and the man who has the chance to take the championship today to become the Season 12 champion. It is Bunnies. He qualified on hard compound tires, putting himself 8th on the grid. So he's the first of 2 hard compound tire qualifiers. That is the Williams in 8th. Tamo sits in 9th place. It is mediums for him in qualifying. Tamo won the opening round of the season, but has had some difficulty since then. Can Tamo move forward this time? Then it is a Matra. Kaiser qualifies 9th on the medium compound tires. Kaiser, number 3. Matra qualified last and second last for their first round in Brands Hatch. They've qualified a bit better than that today. It's 9th place for the Swede. 10th place goes to Punisher. The third of the 3 Canadians on our grid. Punisher qualified on a set of medium compound tires. Number 24 for McLaren will line up 10th on the... Nope, that's not right. Kaiser was 10th. Punisher is 11th. 12th, on the other hand, will be Rob on Drums for Cadillac. Rob on Drums is qualified on soft compound tires and took 12th. It'll be his home race, of course. An American driver and an American team at an American track, and you can see all the fans in the crowd here for their home hero. 13th is Tiny Terror. Tiny Terror will be stepping in for the remainder of the season in Slenderfella's place. Slenderfella, unfortunately, his brakes gave out on him, or something with his wheel. Might not have been brakes, actually, but something in his wheel gave out on him. So Tiny Terror will take his place for the remainder of the season. Number 59 takes over from number 21. Tiny Terror qualified on medium compound tires. It's good to have Tiny Terror back after the GTE season, which is the last one he competed in. Next up, we have Lynchimus, number 69. The first of the two Toro Rossos, Lynchimus, qualified on a set of medium compound tires, putting himself 14th on the grid and 15th on the grid. It is a 14-15 qualifying result for Toro Rosso. It is Ben, number 2, who comes home 15th in qualifying, having qualified on a set of the hards, so it was never going to be an easy qualifying for him. And you'll notice that there is no 16th place on the grid today. Unfortunately, the man we are missing was Mr. Smith, who should have been qualifying on soft compound tires. Mr. Smith, the Matra driver, unfortunately unable to make the race today. That's a real shame as well, because it would have been his home race here in Daytona. The American driver missing out on the American race. Next up, why don't we go through the tires that everybody has for today? The Williams duo, Bunnies and Tiny Terror. It's medium, hard for Bunnies, soft, hard for Tiny Terror. Ajax for Ferrari is triple mediums. Aloe is medium, hard. Gasman for McLaren is medium, hard as well. Punisher is medium, hard. They unfortunately did not submit their tires on time, so they were given the hardest compound tires available to them. Toro Rosso, Ben is going medium, hard. Lynchimus is going soft, medium. For Lotus, Bondimus will be medium, hard, and Ragemus will go ultra aggressive, going triple softs for this round. That could be a dangerous driver to be around. He will get past you and he will fly away, having softs as his only option. He could be a contender for this race win. Rob on Drums for Cadillac is soft, medium. Wendigo is triple hards. He only has hard compound tires left, so that is, of course, what he is simply stuck with for this round and next round. For Audi, Climicision is triple softs and Tamo is medium, hard. They did not submit their tires, so Audi has been given the hardest compound tires available to them as well. And Matra, both drivers, Kaiser and Mr. Smith. Of course, Mr. Smith, unfortunately, unable to attend today, but Kaiser will be driving soft, medium tires for this round. And of course, I know you are all waiting for this race to get underway, but I believe it is time for us to go through the standings. As I mentioned, because this is the penultimate round, mathematically there is a chance for Bunnies to win the championship today, but it is very unlikely. Bunnies sits on 133 points in the lead of the championship. Wendigo sits on 130 points, only 3 points behind. So, what that means is that Bunnies would have to outscore Wendigo by 27 points to win the championship. On top of that, there are other drivers within 30 points of Bunnies. So just to be clear, to score 27 points more than Wendigo, Bunnies would have to win the race, and Wendigo would have to finish 15th, or he'd have to rage quit. A regular disconnect, if his internet just failed on him, would still give him last place points, because it would be an unintentional disconnect. But a rage quit would not award him any points, and 15 points would only award him 2 points. Or 15th place, apologies, would only award him 2 points. So that is the only way Bunnies can win this championship, is if he outscores Wendigo by that many points. There are other drivers within reach, but they are, well, third place in the championship is Ajax on 111 points, so that is 22 points behind Bunnies, which actually makes eliminating Ajax and the drivers behind him a much more manageable task than eliminating Wendigo. But Ajax is still in it, only 22 points off the championship lead. He certainly cannot be counted out at this stage. Fourth in the championship is Gasman of McLaren, 102 points for him. He sits 31 points behind Bunnies. If he does not outscore Bunnies today, he is out of championship contention. Ben sits on 97 points. He is in 5th place in the championship for Toro Rosso. He is 5 points off the back of Gasman. Tamo sits in 6th for Audi on 79 points. Tamo is 18 points back from Ben. Bondimus sits in 7th, having missed the first 2 rounds of the championship before joining late. He is all the way up on 78 points. Bondimus, of course, our race winner last time out. Bondimus is storming his way through the standings. He is only 1 point behind Tamo, and mathematically still in championship contention, but only barely. He would have to outscore Bunnies by a lot of points to stay in the championship fight today. Aloe sits in 8th for Ferrari on 74 points. 9th is Slenderfella for Williams on 62 points. Rob on Drums sits in 10th on 56 points. Punisher in 11th on 49 points. Lynchmas on 25 points in 12th. Climicision in 13th on 17 points. Alpha Capri on 13 points in 14th. Super Toxic in 15th on 9 points. Mr. Smith in 16th on, also on 9 points. Ragemas in 17th on 7 points. Jam in 18th on 5 points, and Kaiser in 19th on 1 point. So that is your drivers' standings. As for the team's standings, Williams leads the way on 201 points. They sit 15 points ahead of Cadillac, who are on 186, and only 1 point behind them is Ferrari in 3rd. McLaren sits on 151 points in 4th, 135 for Toro Rosso behind. Audi sits on 101 in 6th. Lotus sits on 99 points. And Matra, the new team, scored 4 points last time out, and of course, therefore sits on 4 points. 95 points off the back of Lotus. They, of course, will be only doing a grand total of 3 out of the 8 rounds, because they joined late in the season. That is our standings. There is, of course, a championship fight, unlikely to be ended today, but not impossible. Keep an eye out for how Bunnies is doing compared to Wendigo, Ajax, Gasman, Ben, Tamo, and Bondmus, as well as Aloe. Those are the 8 still mathematically in the championship fight going into this round, but it would take a lot for some of those drivers to win, especially the drivers such as Aloe, Bondimus, and Tamo, who would need to outscore Bunnies. They would each basically need to win with Bunnies scoring less than about 5 points. So those few are very unlikely to win the championship, but Gasman, Ajax, Wendigo, and Bunnies, they are all still very much still in the fight. Let's get going with this race. I have the tires backed up so that I can find them at a moment's notice. We have 15 drivers on this grid. We have Ben, Lynchimus, Tiny Terror, Rob on Drums, Punisher, Kaiser, Tamo, Bunnies, Ragemus, Aloe, Climicision, Ajax, Wendigo, Bondimus, and of course Gasman, our pole sitter. It says up there it's the world center of racing, but down here it's a spectacle for SNL. 15 drivers, 1 winner. Let's find out who it's gonna be. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and we are racing here at Daytona. It is a good getaway from Bondimus on the high line, but Gasman looks to be safe ahead of him. It is actually a very good start for Gasman, the second phase of that start. Doing well as they go down towards turn 1. It's Climicision flying up the inside of Gasman. He makes the move. Can he take the lead of the race already? He does. The Audi driver flings himself up the inside. What a move to get past Gasman, but Gasman's having none of it. He wants back into the lead. The McLaren driver pulls it off. They're 3 wide for a moment. It's Gasman from Climicision. They are side by side. Bondimus backs out of it. He was right with them for a moment there, but Gasman now takes the lead more solidly. And it's going to be Bondimus on the inside of Climicision. Can he make the move? He does indeed. Bondimus up into second, and now Climicision under pressure from Ajax, who is trying to make a move on him. But here's Bunnies and Ragemus side by side as well. Ragemus on the outside, Bunnies with a bit of a snap of oversteer, but a wider line for Ragemus means he will be stuck behind for the time being. On to the banking for the first time we go. Gasman leads the way from Bondimus, Climicision, Ajax, Bunnies, and Ragemus on the high line is going for a move down towards the Le Mans chicane. Can he pull off the move? He's going to be on the outside. It's going to be a hard one. It looks like Bunnies backs out of it, and Ragemus will take the position on the outside. Ragemus is going to go through, but Bunnies now has a run on him. He's going to look to try and get through. Can we get an actual angle of this, please? There we go. And actually, Gasman has been overtaken by Bondimus. We've missed a move for the lead. It has happened through the Le Mans chicane. Bondimus has pulled ahead, and now Gasman's going to have to sit behind. He pulls into the slipstream. He moves to the outside, thinks better of it. He moves to the outside again. Will the slipstream be enough now? It is not yet. Bondimus is going to stay in the lead as we go ahead onto lap 2. Bondimus leads the way after the first lap. It's Gasman on the outside, Bondimus on the inside, and Bondimus hits the wall. Bondimus has hit the wall. He's crashed, and he has been flung to the outside there. What has happened here? We go on board with Bondimus on the inside, and he just clips the invisible wall, or perhaps the real one. It looks like he goes past it for a moment. And I think the ghosting sort of glitching there. We'll go on board with Ajax for a moment, see if we got a better view of it. Climicision on the outside. And what happens there? I think the ghosting glitches with Bunnies, and Bondimus gets flung to the outside after contact with Bunnies. I think Bunnies got away without damage, though. Yes, he did. So Bunnies will continue on in fourth, with Ragemus chasing after him still. Behind is Ben, who has made an unbelievable start on the hards. Ben is on the hards. He has gone from 15th to 6th in 1 lap. What a start for Ben. The Toro Rosso driver has stormed through the field already. It's only lap 2 and he's up to 6th. That is incredible. It's Gasman on the outside of Climicision, the Audi driver, the Lithuanian on the inside. The low line takes precedent, and he takes the lead of this race. The low line is faster here, but with slipstream and maybe some overtake, you can make a move on the outside, as Gasman is going to attempt to do now. We'll go on board with Ajax and watch it unfold. Gasman on the outside, Climicision backs out. Gasman gets the right of way, gets through. Oh, it's a big snap of oversteer for Ajax. I wonder if there was contact with Ragemus, the way Ragemus was going after that. But Bunny slips through either way on the inside of the Lotus driver. And here's Ben. He's right on the back of this. The hard tires are not a detriment to Ben. Ben is managing them beautifully, and he is looking at the chaos in front. And he is going to be looking, he's sizing up an opportunity. He sets the fast lap of the race, a 30.9 on hards. That is a very, very strong lap time. Bunny's on the inside of Climicision. Is he going to pull it off? Climicision's going to have the inside for the international horseshoe here. He makes the move, Climicision ahead, but can Bunnies get a switchback perhaps? No, it's not going to pan out on this occasion. So Gasman will continue to lead the way with Climicision pressuring him from behind. Climicision looks to the outside. Is he going to make the move? Gasman defends the inside, and Climicision outbreaks himself. Climicision's off and in the wall. Climicision is dropping numerous positions, and he goes off. His four-way flasher's on for a moment there. I'm not quite sure why, but Gasman leads the way. Bunny's in second now with Ragemus pressuring him. Ajax dropping a little bit further off the back, and then managing these hard tires beautifully. So is Tamo. Tamo's on hards as well, and he's sticking with this group up in front as well. Climicision trying to recover from that mistake now. Take a look up at the front. Any movement here, it's going to be Bunny's on the inside of Gasman. No, apologies, on the outside of Gasman, but he backs out, and Gasman takes the position back. No opportunities there for Bunny's. Has to think better of it. He is improving on his fastest lap, but he is not going purple. He's not on his way to take the fastest lap. Here's Ragemus on the outside, burning up the overtake, and he goes through on Bunny's. I mentioned Ragemus could be dangerous in this race. Triple softs for him. He is one of only two drivers to do that, Climicision being the other one. And Ragemus on the outside of Gasman now is going to look for an opportunity. Nothing doing that there, and Bunny's is actually going to slip down the inside of Ragemus, and he pulls off the move. He's now going to go to the outside for the international horseshoe, and he's going around the outside of Gasman. Surely that can't work. Here's Ajax. He bumps Ragemus up into Bunny's, but they all make it through without any major contact, so good to see there, all of them making it through cleanly despite the minor contact. Bunny's on the outside again for the second of the two horseshoes. Can he make the move on Gasman now? No, he cannot. And there's Ragemus, and it looks like Ajax went off track. What has happened here? What happened to Ajax? Did he just outbrake himself? He's behind Ragemus. He's weaving a little bit, looking for an opportunity. Ben goes to his inside. I think Ben has outbraked himself, and he knocks Ajax off the track, but Ben immediately waiting up for Ajax, so that is good to see. Climicision back up into fifth after that. Oh, Gasman's in the wall! It's all happening here on lap 4! What has happened to Gasman? He's gonna brake here. You see Bunny's on his outside, but he's gone now, and you can see in the mirrors, Bunny's and Ragemus are side by side, and Ragemus outbrakes himself and whacks Gasman into the wall, and Ragemus also waiting up immediately, so Tamo is up into second, and he wasn't even involved in the fight for the lead a couple of corners ago, really. So Bunny's leads the way. We have drivers crashing and waiting up, while Gasman's down in 9th. Ragemus is up in 4th still, but nonetheless, weighted up a bit. Bunny's leads the way, though, from Tamo, who is putting some good pressure on him. Bunny's is on the mediums, Tamo's on the hards. Climicision, of course, on softs. He is triple softs for this round. It's Ragemus in 4th on softs as well. He is triple softs as well, of course. Ben on hards, Ajax on mediums. Wendigo on hards, he's triple hards. Aloe on his outside, though. The Ferrari driver's going to look for a move here. Slips back into the slipstream for a moment. Oh, is he going to switch to the inside? No, there's a little bit of contact. Thankfully, Wendigo and Aloe both making it through the corner all right. Aloe is also on hards. Aloe has medium hards. Bondimus in 9th. It has been not easy for him since his incident on lap 2, it seems. Gasman down in 10th. Tiny Terror on the inside of Kaiser makes the move through the international horseshoe. The Williams driver gets through on the Matra. There is a yellow flag up ahead, or is it behind? I do not know. Oh, it looks like it's Ragemus. What has happened to Ragemus? Go on board with him here. What has happened to him here? Oh, bit of contact with Ben. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of that, honestly. I can't work out what has caused that. I mean, usually I know what's happened, but I think Ragemus just slows down a little bit unexpectedly, and Ben is just completely blindsided by that and makes contact with Ragemus. I mean, I suppose Ragemus has now waited up for Gasman. He's behind Gasman now, so, I mean, it's been a lap since the incident, but he's now behind Gasman at least, I suppose. I don't know, that is a strange incident. I was really taken by surprise by that. Oh, we have Climicision on the outside of Bunny's. Climicision goes for the move on the high line, and he makes it through on Bunny's. He's barely used any overtake. Bunny's has used more than him. and he is through on Bunnies, but Bunnies has a run through the Le Mans chicane. What a run from Bunnies. He takes the low line, and he's back through again. So Bunnies, and this almost looks slow motion the way the camera is there. That was quite a cool shot, but Bunnies retakes the lead, but it's only for a moment, as Climicision now does slam on the overtake, and he's back through despite being on the high line. And he takes fastest lap of the race while he's at it. It's a 30.2 on those soft compound tires, but Bunnies isn't giving it up. He's on the outside. No move opportunity there. He looks for it despite that, but he can't find a way through. It's Tamo pressuring him. Bunnies is the meat in an Audi bread sandwich. Ajax sits in 4th. Ben still pressuring him here in 5th. Ben is running a phenomenal race on these hards. Wendigo is as well, to be completely honest. Wendigo will be triple hards. This is exactly what he needs to do at this rate, despite Bunnies being in the right position to win the championship based on his own actions. Wendigo is about 10 positions too high for that, so Wendigo, as it stands, would continue the championship on to Fuji. Aloe sits in 7th, Gasman in 8th, Bondimus in 9th, 10th is Ragemus, so the two Lotuses quite close together. And Ben, no apologies, Ajax is putting pressure on Tamo. Where's Climicision gone? Climicision was leading the race a moment ago. What has happened to him? Oh no, Climicision's gone off at the second horseshoe again! The Climicision outbreaks himself, not for the first time in this race, at the I believe it's called the Continental Horseshoe. I could be mistaken about that. It is the second horseshoe either way. If anybody does know for sure what the second horseshoe is officially called, I'd love it if you could tell me in the chat, please. But Climicision makes a mistake, and Bunnies will usurp the lead from him following that mistake, and Ajax is going to try and look to take the move on Tamo, thinks better of it into the Le Mans chicane, is going to sit behind, and he could get a good run here. He could get through on Tamo anyways. As he sits in the slipstream, he's going to look to the high line. It's not going to work out for him just yet, though, as he's going to sit in the slipstream for a bit. Ben is going to be he's going to be hoping these two start battling in front of him. Bunnies will be hoping the same, because either way, it should slow down Tamo and Ajax if they start battling. That would allow Bunnies to pull away, it would allow Ben to catch up. Ajax down the inside though, trying to make the move on Tamo, and he pulls it off down the inside of turn 1. That was a very nice move, and Ben is right there now. On the inside, can Ben take a podium position? It's a last to third in the first 7 laps for Ben. He might not be able to hold this though. This is a really nice looking switchback from Tamo. On the outside of this kink to the left, he is through is Ben. And he has gone from 15th to 3rd in the space of 7 laps, all on the hard compound tires. Wow! Regardless of how the next 21 laps go for Ben, this has been a phenomenal race so far. Well done, Ben. Let's see if he can keep it up. He will be, of course, on the mediums for his final 2 stints, so that will be very interesting to see. But it's Climicision with Wendigo pressuring him on the outside. We have 3 Lithuanians in a row here. Tamo from Wendigo from Climicision. But Wendigo is going to make the move on Climicision, and now he's going to be right behind Tamo as well. Sitting in the slipstream, he's got pressure from Climicision behind though. Wendigo, Climicision, and Tamo. Now it's Wendigo who's the meat in the... Whoa, that was close. Wendigo is going to make a move around the outside of Tamo though. And it is smooth sailing. They're 3 wide. No, Tamo slips behind. Now can he get in between them? They are almost 3 wide into turn 1. Wendigo's going to make the move though, but Climicision pressuring him on the outside, and there's some bumping and nudging between the 3 of them there as we see Ragemus running very wide there. That is not what he was going for. It is Climicision from Wendigo. Tamo's going to get through on Wendigo now as well on the inside of the International Horseshoe. And he is through into 5th place. 6th is Wendigo, of course, now. Aloe sits in 7th. Right behind him. Oh, Aloe's wide. He's in the grass. Can he hold it? He does. He's back on track, but that'll cost him a couple positions to Gasman and Bondimus. Gasman and Bondimus are both front runners. usually, but they sit in the midfield. As it stands, Gasman! What has happened to Gasman? Oh my god, that looked very, very sketchy. I think Gasman must have oversteered, and an overcorrection perhaps is what put him into Bond. Yes, it's a huge snap of oversteer. It's a huge save, and he whacks Bondimus into the wall. But I don't think there was really anything more Gasman could have done there. The car did not exactly look under control. And that will give Aloy an opportunity to retake some of the positions he's just lost. Rob on drums sits here under pressure from Kaiser, the Matra driver, down towards the chicane, thinks better of it, and I'm trying to see Kaiser's helmet a bit better here. I'm not sure, but it's probably a Ronnie Peterson helmet is what it is, I bet. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, I feel like that's what it is, but I'm not certain. So, Kaiser, if you're watching, I'd love to know what the inspiration for your helmet is. Lynchmus sits in 13th. Aloy is in the pits. Interesting. So Aloy becomes the first driver to take a pit stop in this race. Lynchmus continues on, Tiny Terror continues on, and Punisher continues on. So yes, Aloy is the first driver to take a pit stop in this race. He pits at the end of lap 8. He's refueling now. His teammate is pressuring Bunnies for the lead. Bunnies leads the way. Ajax probably in his slipstream at this distance. Or maybe not. I think it'll be pretty on the edge for slipstream at this distance, but Bunnies leads the way from his brother. Ben sits in third, still on the hards. Ben is having a phenomenal race so far. Clemecision sits in fourth. It has been a rough race for him, but with triple softs, he could still very well be in it. Wendigo is driving phenomenally on hards as well, still sits in 5th position, under pressure from Tamo here. And Tamo doesn't quite have the exit from the chicane he may have liked. He's going to run a little bit wide on the banking. In the slipstream, as we can see, Clemecision going for a move on Ben here, and there's nothing Ben can do. Clemecision is through. Tamo goes into the pits. Wendigo continues on. Bondimus will continue on. It looks like Tamo is the outlier here, as most drivers are continuing on their way. Kaiser still in the slipstream of Rob on drums. So Kaiser saying it's a custom-made by him helmet design, consisting of the camouflage of the Swedish Armed Forces and a 3-crowned emblem of the Swedish Air Force. So that's very interesting. I like that. That sounds very cool. And the camo might be why I was having trouble seeing the helmet. When I was looking at it like this, I was trying to figure out what the design was, and I couldn't see it. It was like it was invisible. Oh, that's Ragemus off the track. What's happened to Ragemus? Brakes a bit late from the looks of it, while battling his teammate, no less. And just slips out onto the grass, and that is very unfortunate. Does well to not rejoin unsafely. Tamo and Aloy. Tamo's out ahead of Aloy. Punisher is in the pits as well here at the end of lap 9. Lynchmus continues on his way, as does Tiny Terror. Bondimus under pressure now from Gasman, who will go to the outside, and he's got the move well before the chicane, and he continues on into 6th place. But Bondimus, is he going to have a run out of the chicane in the slipstream? It's lap 10. I think this is based on the fuel we're seeing, where we're going to see a lot of the drivers pitting. Bondimus running a very wide line, and it's not working for him. Bunny's into the pits, Ajax into the pits, Clemecision into the pits, Ben into the pits, Gasman into the pits, Bondimus into the pits. Will Rob on drums follow suit, or will he continue on at his home race? No, Rob on drums is going to go on, and he will lead his home race. It's an American driver in an American team in the lead of an American race. Rob on drums leads the way. He usurps the lead as the top 7 drivers all pit, top 8 drivers all pit. But now, Rob on drums is your race leader at home here in Daytona. Tiny Terror also continues on his way. So Tiny Terror, the Williams driver, saving some fuel as well, and will continue on for an 11th lap at least. These two drivers, I can't see going further than 11 laps, though, given the fuel remaining now. And it's side by side for the brothers, with Climicision right behind, and Climicision is on the inside. Bunnies drives himself off the road. Bunnies takes himself off the road when he sees Climicision right behind him. And now he drops the position to both Ajax and Climicision. And Climicision on the inside of Ajax, that's a bold move. Looks like there's a little bit of contact there. But Climicision gets through, and so does Bunnies. So he loses a move to just driving himself off the track and is immediately able to regain that lost position. But he goes to the inside of Climicision now. Can he make a move down towards the Le Mans chicane? This doesn't really give us much depth perception. He does go for the move. It's a slick move from Bunnies to retake the provisional lead of the race. Climicision's going to sit behind. Ajax is not going to want an Audi in between him and his brother. He wants to get through on the Audi. He wants to get through on the Williams. He wants to take the provisional lead of this race, which will be the lead in just a moment because Rob on Drums and Tiny Terror are into the pits. And Climicision is into first position now on the outside of Bunnies. But on the inside, can Bunnies re-overtake him? Climicision chops to the inside. Bunnies swings to the outside. And Climicision takes the lead of this race once again. And it's now going to be Bunnies under pressure from Ajax. But it's Wendigo under pressure from Gasman right behind. Gasman to the inside. Can't make a move at the International Horseshoe. Gasman is going to be under pressure from Tamo. He is in between these Lithuanians, and they are not going to give this up easily. Tamo would like to see himself ahead of Gasman. He's going to look to the inside of the second Horseshoe. Thinks better of it in the end, though. Not able to make the move. And oh, it's Climicision. What has happened to Climicision? Climicision leads the way, and for at least the third time in this race, drives himself off the track at the second Horseshoe. Somebody, for Climicision's sake, please change the layout of this track and get rid of that second Horseshoe, because that is proving to be the bane of his existence. But as we look back up at the front, that allows Ajax into second and Bunnies back up into the lead. Down towards the Le Mans chicane, Ajax is gaining rapidly on Bunnies here. He's going to look to the inside into the Le Mans chicane, and he makes contact with Bunnies, and Bunnies is off the track. Bunnies is into the wall. There's contact between brothers. Ajax immediately waiting up for Bunnies, but there is immediate contact between the two of them into the Le Mans chicane. Ajax on the inside, Bunnies on the outside. He clips the rear wheel of Bunnies, and Bunnies is into the wall. Bunnies has engine damage. Bunnies has engine damage and rear wing damage. And look at how slowly he's going, even as he's full throttle. That is the effect of engine damage. And Ajax waiting up is going to be stuck waiting for a long time here because of the engine damage. And they have both dropped so many positions already. Bunnies is full throttle. He's only just hit 200 kilometers an hour. Other drivers are sitting at, Ajax was still lifting off there, so he's not a good judge of speed, but it's like almost 300 kilometers an hour for Ragemus as he crosses the line. Bunnies was nowhere near that. And Bunnies now is behind Ragemus and Kaiser. And what that means, actually, is that Wendigo, on a triple hard strategy, now leads this race in his Cadillac. Oh, Gasman's off track. My God, nobody can get this corner right. It's the second Horseshoe is claiming, it's claimed one victim about 3 times. Oh, actually, that was contact with, was it Tamo or Climicision? It was one of the Audis has made contact with Gasman. I think it was Tamo, but I could be mistaken. Was it Tamo? It was Tamo. So Tamo making contact with Gasman, but immediately waits up for the McLaren driver. And that's good sportsmanship. That's what you like to see in SNL, as Bondimus will slip through into 4th position, and Wendigo leads the way as more and more chaos unfolds around him. Ben started this race on hards. Wendigo started it on hards and continued on with hards. These drivers are 1-2. I mean, behind them is a triple softs driver for this round, as we're going to see another move at the Le Mans chicane. This time, it looks like it'll be done fully cleanly as Ben makes the move on the outside of Wendigo and is through into the lead of this race, and Wendigo is going to be watching this fade away. We've got a medium runner, a hard runner, and a soft runner in the top three here. Climicision swaps to the inside, and he's going to get through on Wendigo, who immediately pulls into his slipstream. No bump drafting allowed, of course, as Climicision's going to make the move down the inside at turn 1, and the triple soft runner, the Audi driver, is going to take the lead once again. And we will just hope and pray that he does not become the victim of the second horseshoe for a 4th time in this race, as Ben is going to put pressure on him and hope that he does become a victim of the second horseshoe for a 4th time in this race. I feel like every time we watch him through here it goes badly, but we're going to take the risk this time again. Climicision makes the second horseshoe this time, thankfully, and will maintain the lead ahead of Ben, and Wendigo behind in 3rd. Bondimus sits in 4th. He's on medium compound tires, so he should be able to gain on Wendigo. Gasman on hards. This is going to be a tougher stint for him. Lowy on mediums. Hards for Tamo as it stands. And Rob on drums on mediums. Kaiser in 9th sits ahead of the two brothers, who of course have Ragemus right behind them, so I think that means the both of them have overtaken Ragemus, but Kaiser has stayed ahead. And Kaiser sits in 9th. In his Swedish helmet and Matra car. I do quite like this view. It's not great for when there's overtaking, because it's really hard to tell how far alongside people are, but it is a really cool view to just watch the cars approach. As we actually have a side-by-side moment here, it's Punisher and Lynchimus. Lynchimus sits behind for the time being into the Le Mans chicane, and Punisher, as Lynchimus just about keeps it on track, and Lynchimus actually has the inside line now. A bit of contact. He bumps Punisher there a little bit on the low line, but with the low line, he should make it through, unless Punisher is burning some overtake to try and stay ahead. And you can see Tiny Terror there in the background. Lynchimus still side by side with Punisher. They are going the length, side by side. Swooping around the outside. Is it going to be Punisher in front? No, it's going to be Lynchimus, who's still on the inside, but he can't quite pull off the move under acceleration. Punisher puts himself back in front into 13th position, but it's not over yet. Lynchimus is, big snap of oversteer for Lynchimus. Just about saves the car, but that'll put Tiny Terror on the back of him, and you can see Tiny Terror already burning up a little bit of overtake just to try and get a bit closer here. The British driver trying to catch up in his Williams. It's a bit wide there for Lynchimus, but Tiny Terror is trying to hunt him down. The Decision sits in first. That's the gap back behind him. Ben unable to gain on him right now. It's softs for first, mediums for second, hards for third. But despite that, Wendigo in the slipstream is gaining. The gap is almost 2 seconds between Ben and Climicision. Wendigo unable to pull off a move just yet. Bondimus in fourth. Gasman in fifth. Olowi sits in sixth. Under pressure from Tamo here. There are battles going on all over the place. All those flags on the outside of the International Horseshoe, don't ask me how they're arranged. I thought I knew. I was wrong. They're like almost alphabetically arranged. It actually kind of drives me nuts. But either way, there are a lot of flags on the outside of this corner. You can see them there. And they mostly make sense for the order, just not quite. I did some practice, and then stopped and looked at the flags and thought, what the hell is this? It really annoys me, actually. I can almost figure out why they're ordered the way they are. Ammo sits behind Aloe. Rob on drums behind him. Rob is, of course, at his home race, the one American on the grid for today. He sits in 8th. with 12 laps to go, he could very well have an opportunity at a good result here. Kaiser sits there under pressure from Ajax, who's under pressure from his brother. Bunnies goes around the outside. It's the high line for Bunnies. He's going to try and snag some slipstream from Kaiser, but Kaiser gets to pick his poison here. Who does he give the slipstream to? He goes to the low line. That gives Ajax the slipstream, who's going to go to his outside. Can Ajax make the move on the outside? No, Bunnies is going to have the inside on him then. And could he have an opportunity to slip through on his brother, as Ragemus is going to be looking for his own opportunities here on the outside of the International Horseshoe. It's Bunnies and Ragemus on the outside of Ajax. Bunnies, nice move there around the outside, takes the position, and Ragemus is going to continue to try and pressure the duo of brothers. As Ajax looks to the inside of the second horseshoe on Bunnies. Bunnies goes deep, and Ajax is through. So is Ragemus. They're gonna be 3 wide here. That is bold. Ragemus on the outside, Bunnies on the inside. The middleman, Ajax, has to back out, but they're 3 wide again. Here goes Bunnies on the low line. Ahead of Ajax, Ragemus drops back into third of this battle. Ajax way up on the high line. That is not working for... Oh, there's contact. Ragemus tries to go to the outside of Bunnies, bumps Ajax on his way there. Ragemus is through ahead of Bunnies, who now sits in the slipstream. Ajax thinks for a moment of repeating the move into the Le Mans chicane, but thinks better of it. Not worth the risk on this occasion. And Bunnies looks to the inside, but he makes a little bit of contact with Ragemus. Perhaps a bit of an over-enthusiastic move there from Bunnies, not necessarily thinking it through properly. Bunnies is going to sit in the slipstream. Ragemus goes to the outside of Kaiser. He's going to have the move down towards turn 1 on the outside. Can he make the move? Bunnies is on his inside now. Kaiser is safely in 9th, but will it be Ragemus or Bunnies? It's going to be Ragemus in 10th, then it's Bunnies in 11th, and Ajax in 12th. We're used to seeing 1s and 2s in these guys' numbers. In these guys' positions, but usually it's number 1 and number 2, not number 11 and number 12. These two have won a combined very large number of SNL races and championships. Ajax, a 1-time champion in Formula X. Bunnies, a 4-time champion in Formula X, 1 time in GTE, as he runs a bit wide. That was a bit illegal, as he carries a bit much speed on the outside of that corner. And he goes to the high line to stick in the slipstream of Ragemus and Kaiser. Kaiser is under a bit of pressure here as we look back from onboard his car. There's Ragemus as we navigate the chicane. That was a bit terrifying to do while looking backwards, but Ragemus is putting pressure on him. Kaiser is burning up some overtake. He does not want to be overtaken here, but Ragemus looks to the low line. I think he's accidentally bumped Kaiser there, which of course, intentional bump drafting is illegal, but given that did not at all benefit Ragemus to bump draft him, I'm gonna take a valid guess that that was an accident. As Bunnies still pressuring Kaiser on the inside of turn 1, and Bunnies gets the move on Ragemus, albeit not on Kaiser. Kaiser sits in 6th. I think we've had some people... Whoops, I've gotten... Whoa! Ragemus! Where did that come from? Where on earth has Ragemus come from there? I didn't even see him line up the move. He was just there suddenly. Wow, that was audacious. He goes to the inside, and maybe he just outbrakes himself a little. Maybe the others break earlier than he expected, but he pulls off one of the moves for what it's worth. He's through on Bunnies, who perhaps had a staff of overseer there as Ajax gets through on him. So Gasman, Aloe, and Tamo have all taken their final pit stops in this race. They will be going the 9 laps to the end from here. Gasman refills to full, gets on his way. This is 10 laps, actually. They pitted at the end of lap 18. It's just while you're in the pits, it shows the next lap, because that's just how this track is made. Aloe sits in 13th and Tamo in 14th. All 3 of these drivers could be in decent positions, but it's hard to say exactly where they'll end up. We've got a lot of battling through the midfield, but I perhaps over-focused on that and lost track of how this race is really unfolding. Climicision will pit out of the lead of the race. It's Ben in 2nd, and Wendigo still pressuring him in 3rd, but Ben is going to continue on for another lap at least. Ben Ooh, this could be very interesting from Ben. I want to see what the Toro Rosso driver does here, the British driver. This could be very interesting. He, of course, will have mediums for his final stint in this race. He drove hards at the start. He is mediums, hards for this race. He sets the purple first sector. A 29.4 is the fastest lap as it stands, set by the man you're looking at now, Bondimus Prime. Autobots rollout. Oh, as Bunnies has made the move on Kaiser. He's been struggling with that one. The Swede is giving him a proper battle here, and Bunnies is going to slip through into the third position for now. But when he hits, he will drop back behind a number of drivers. Kaiser in 4th, Ajax in 5th, Climicision in 6th, 7th is Wendigo, 8th is Tiny Terror, ahead of Lynchimus. So these two still battling it out here. We've seen these two and Punisher close together at various times throughout this race. It has been a very entertaining battle. We've had battles for first, we've had battles right in the middle of the field, we've had battles for last. Lynchimus and Tiny Terror in the midfield at the moment, battling it out. Lynchimus is in the slipstream. Oh, a little bit of a bump draft there. I don't think that was intentional. That looked a bit messy. Ben is into the pits, as is Bondimus. Bunnies and Kaiser and Ajax follow them in. Lynchimus a bit more cautious through the chicane than Tiny Terror, and Tiny Terror will run away a little bit. I don't know if it's intentional from Tiny Terror or not. I'm good friends with Tiny Terror. I feel like I would know if it is intentional. But maybe it is, and I just don't know. But his helmet reminds me a lot of Emerson Fittipaldi's helmet. I'm really not sure if that's intentional. Tiny Terror, if you wouldn't mind telling me whether that's intentional, but it looks like Emerson Fittipaldi's helmet, I'd be very interested to know. It does remind me a lot of his helmet, whether intentional or not. Bunnies is refueling, as is Kaiser. Kaiser gets going, so is Ajax. They are inside of each other. Kaiser on the inside. There we go, he's through on Ajax, and Bunnies has dropped behind both of them in the pits. He has a bit more fuel than either of these drivers, so that will be why he's refueled a little bit more. And of course, the difficult bit for him is that he's put on hard compound tires while Ajax is on mediums and Kaiser is on soft. So these drivers should have an advantage on him and may very well pull away from him a bit. Oh, it's a bit wide for Kaiser. He's going to lose the position to Ajax there. No chance to fight it back in that case. And Bunnies is a little bit further behind. Up at the front, Ben makes the move on... Oh my god! There was contact! How has he survived that? Ben is going to be in the slipstream of Kaiser. We'll go back and watch this again. Ben on the slipstream of Kaiser, Climicision, moves to the inside. He's through before the braking zone. There's contact. There's a snap of oversteer. And there's Ben taking the lead. I do not know how he has managed that, but that is absolutely fantastic stuff from the Lithuanian and the Brit. On the inside, Ben goes through, they hit the brakes, there's contact. Ben is slipping and sliding through the first couple corners of that big bus stop type chicane. Wow. Ben, how have you done that? I mean, that was a hard enough collision to give Climicision damage, and Ben has held the car, and he's put himself into the lead of this race, and with an almighty gap considering he only just made the move. Wow, Ben, that was awesome to watch. Genuinely, that was really cool. Wendigo sits right behind Climicision now. He's going to be looking for his opportunity. I mean, Wendigo is triple hards and in with a shot at this win. That is exceptional stuff. The Lithuanian driver, I said before the race, it's going to be really difficult, but mathematically, Bunnies can win the championship today. This is what he needs to do. He needs to beat, Wendigo by this much, and I didn't specify what, but he had to beat a couple other drivers by however much as well. But Wendigo is doing the opposite of that. Bunnies sits down in 7th. Wendigo on triple hards is in third, and he can see the leader in front of them. This has been phenomenal driving from the Lithuanian. He's had a tendency to get P2 this season. Maybe he'll do it again. On triple hards, frankly, I'd be pretty pleased with that in his position. But it's triple softs for Climicision, bear in mind, as he puts the pressure on Ben. A lap ago, they had some contact at that chicane, and Ben got a large gap from it. But Climicision now looks to the inside. It's the low line for the Lithuanian. Ben's pinching him to the inside, but it's Climicision, unyielding, takes the position into first place on the beginning of lap 23. Ben on the outside, nothing he can do. Climicision swoops into the lead. That could be the race-winning move. He has soft compound tires compared to Ben's mediums. There's contact. Ben, careful. Oh, there's oversteer. Ben is so on edge with this car, but we've seen twice already this season. This is a man who knows how to win races. This is a man who wants to win races. This is a man who at this rate is going to put himself right back in the title fight that he looked like he was eliminated from just a round ago. Ben sits in second, pressuring Climicision. Can he get into a good position here? Before the end of the race, Climicision's softs will be really beneficial, but as the fuel winds down, the mediums will become exceptionally quick as well. I mean, frankly, same with the hards. I suspect that's how Wendigo has pulled this off. But either way, Wendigo is driving just phenomenally here. This is fantastic stuff from the Lithuanian. Bondimus sits in fourth. He's had his share of accidents. I mean, on lap 2, he hit an invisible wall at the inside of turn 1, and then his ghost glitched with bunnies, and he got flung at shockingly high speeds at the outside wall. He has continued on. He's on hard compound tires. He sits in fourth. He's not really in with a fight he's not really in with a shot at first anymore, but he can see first place and the group of drivers ahead of him as Kaiser is putting pressure on bunnies on the inside of turn 1. Can Kaiser make the move? It's going to be the outside for bunnies. The reigning champion has his hands full with Kaiser. He's looking to try and gain on his brother in front, but he can't dispose of the Swede. Kaiser is driving fantastically in this Matra. It was a rough round for Matra. Their first round at Brands Hatch, that did not go very well. And there is no hiding it. It was a tough one for the new team. But Matra, on this occasion, despite missing Mr. Smith for this round, and it's a shame we're missing him for his home race, but despite that, Kaiser is putting in such a good race for Matra. He's going to usurp 6th from that mistake from Bunnies, who runs wide. He's going to be stuck on the high line. He drifts way up wide. He's going to pull into the slipstream now. He goes to the high line again. Can he make the move? No, he can't. He's going to have to sit behind Kaiser for the time being. Can Kaiser perhaps close in on Ajax here? Ajax is pulling away from this duo a bit. Bunnies has his hands full with this Swede. Oh, what a run for Bunnies. There's contact. Bunnies had, I think, a bit of a better run than he'd expected, and makes contact with the Swede in front. Unable to get through on him, though, and Rob on drums. It's a big gap up ahead, but he can see the drivers in front. He can see them. Those 3 specks off in the distance, those are 3 drivers that he's going to be trying to gain on. And Aloe, I mean, frankly, Aloe's got Rob on drums right in front of him. Aloe could have an opportunity here. Gasman, oh, it's been a tough round for Gasman. He sits in 10th position. That is just not what he needed. I mean, if you look at the top 4 in the championship, the top 4 in the standings going into this round, Bunnies, Wendigo, Ajax, Gasman, they are all within 31 points. Gasman needs to outscore Bunnies by 1 point to remain in the championship fight here. Gasman sits in 10th. 10th. That is not what he needed here. Bunnies, the championship leader, is in 6th. Ajax, 3rd, needed a big result, especially over Bunnies. Sits in 5th. But then there's Wendigo. Wendigo, who has triple hards for this round. Sat in 2nd in the championship, 3 points back from the lead. Triple hards compared to medium hard? Reasonably speaking, he should have been dropping further back from the lead of the championship. Triple hards just does not work in your favor. But here he is, sitting in third place, his main championship rivals 2, 3, and 7 positions behind him. Wendigo, what a masterclass from him this race has been, as Bunnies is rapidly closing in on Ajax here. He goes to the high line, cross the start-finish line. He's going to have the outside for turn 1. Can the Williams driver get through on the Ferrari? We've seen contact from these two earlier in this race, but Bunnies swoops around the outside. That was a sweet move from him as he takes the position into the International Horseshoe. And there we go, he's ahead of his brother for the time being, but it might be a bit of a better run out of the corner for Ajax as Kaiser sits directly behind these two still. Kaiser is going to be watching this battle eagerly. He wants that position. Oh, actually, as Bunnies is still under pressure from Ajax, to the inside goes Ajax. Can he pull off the move? It's a snap of oversteer. Kaiser's there on the inside. No opportunity for Ajax to get Bunnies, but Kaiser gets Ajax. And that is very nice from him. Up at the front, Clemicision looks a little bit more comfortable. So does Ben. But Wendigo is definitely still there. There's Bondmus. And now we see Kaiser makes the move on Bunnies. So does Ajax. Ajax looks to the inside, backs out of it. Kaiser safe in 5th for now. But here comes Bunnies. Bunnies to the inside. No, thinks better of it. It looked like he was going to go in between them for a moment. And Bunnies, did he just bump draft Kaiser? I think, oh, you can see him lifting off there. He's trying not to bump draft Kaiser, but he is through on Ajax. And now he's got an opportunity to go through Kaiser. As the gap opens up, they were 3 wide for a split second there, I think. But Ajax through on Kaiser. Kaiser to the inside. Ajax on the outside. Bunnies goes wide. Bunnies loses both positions, I think. No, just to Kaiser. Yes, both positions. He drops behind Ajax as well. Kaiser, the Swede, through into 5th. What a drive from him it has been. This is such a great race from Kaiser. He's got pace, he's got racecraft, but this is where he's finally getting the results as well. Kaiser is absolutely on it. Ajax behind. Bear in mind, Kaiser on softs, Ajax on mediums, Bunnies is on hards. Bunnies is fighting this out on hards, and here's Rob on drums. It's his home race, and Rob on drums wants this. He wants 7th, he wants 6th, he wants 5th. All 3 of those positions directly in front of him. And now, Rob on drums can smell an opportunity. Rob on drums. He's not playing drums. He's driving. He does both great, I assume. I've never heard him play drums. I don't know that he plays them great, but I would imagine he plays them great, given he's got enough passion for them to put them in his username. But he is driving great. That's what he's doing right now. And Bunnies on the inside of his brother takes 6th position. Kaiser in front is going to have the pressure of 2 Canadians right behind him. 2 champions in SNL. As Bunnies was really low there, almost on the apron of the oval. To the inside, Kaiser stays in front for the time being, but it's Ajax on the outside of Bunnies. Can he make the move here on the outside? We saw Ajax get overtaken on the outside. Now he's going to do the overtaking on the outside. That turns into the inside for the International Horseshoe. Through it for the last time. Maybe a little bit of contact there. A little bit hard to say, though, as Rob on drums fully enters the battle. He's side by side with Bunnies. He's through on Bunnies. He's going to have an opportunity at Ajax here. To the inside of the second horseshoe. Ooh, bit of contact there with Ajax. Ajax runs wide. Ajax gets a snap of oversteer. He's onto the grass. And now Bunnies is going to be side by side with Rob on drums. Rob breaks late. He's into the wall. No! It's the final lap of his home race and Rob on drums hits the wall. But at the front, it's going to be... Oh, that's not the front. My apology. I thought those were the front runners. I am so sorry. Clemicision, though, does lead the way. From Ben, from Wendigo. Clemicision looks like he'll be safe. Ben is there, but he's not close enough. It's the Lithuanian. The Audi driver is going to come home for his first ever SNL win. It's Daytona victory for Clemicision. And Ben pulls off a great drive for second. Triple hards. take third position in the form of Wendigo. What a drive from him. Bonimus is going to take fourth. Kaiser will be safe in fifth. Bunnies will take sixth. Ajax, after collision with Rob on the last lap, takes seventh, but Rob, after that collision, hits the wall, takes eighth, Aloy ninth. Gasman will come home 10th in a disappointing result that will remove him, will remove him from the championship battle. Ragemus in 11th, Tamo in 12th, Tiny Terror in 13th, isn't home yet. We'll see if he will make it there. And we've actually still got a battle here as Lynchimus makes a mistake through the chicane, and there's contact with Punisher. Thankfully, they both get away with it without damage, but Punisher will sit in 15th now. Tiny Terror, on return to Formula X, hasn't driven in Formula X since Season 5. Tiny Terror takes 13th place. 14th will go to Lynchimus Prime for 14th. And 15th goes to Punisher. And that is everyone. What a drive from Climicision. See if we can get a better view of his car. Our race winner. Alright, game. This is... Alright, that'll have to do. There's our top three. All of them drove phenomenal races. I mean, the comebacks from Climicision. What was he, a victim of the second horseshoe 3 times in that race? Still managed to pull his way back up into first. What a drive from the Lithuanian. Well done to him. Second place will go to Ben. Ben had his fair share of incidents himself, really. Third goes to Wendigo. And Kaiser saying, yeah, no, it was fine, really, no pressure. Said that race was nuts, loved every second of it. Ben, you're a mad lad. And indeed, that was a fantastic race. Lots going on as Wendigo takes third. Triple hards. I mean, I'm just struggling to wrap my head around that. I know I keep mentioning it. You might be getting bored of me mentioning it at this point. I'm just genuinely struggling to wrap my head around how Wendigo has pulled off a triple hard strategy to get on the podium. That is fantastic driving from him. Bonimus, 4th for Lotus. 5th is Kaiser. I believe, outside of the Radical event that we ran, that will be his personal best result in SNL. And what a drive for him. Taking 5th. The championship leader, no more, Bunnies, will go into the final round behind Wendigo. After that 6th place finish, 7th is Ajax in the Ferrari. Not quite the result he was hoping for either. Rob on drums takes 8th at home. Could have been a position or two higher. But unfortunately, a mistake from him on the final lap puts him in the wall and back down to 8th. Aloy in 9th. Good run from him. Gasman, not the result he was looking for, down in 10th. 11th will go to Ragemus. Triple softs did not pay off for him, unfortunately. Went ultra aggressive on tires. The result was not there, though. Tamo takes 12th position. Not right ahead of, but, right behind Ragemus. Tiny Terror takes 13th. Lynchmus takes 14th, and it's last but not least for Punisher, the Canadian, rounding out the finishing order. Provisional standings. Now, that was an action-packed race. There were incidents. Some of them may have been reported. But provisionally, your standings are Wendigo coming home in first. Well, not coming home in first. There's a race with 1 round to go. Your standings are, provisional standings are, Wendigo in first on 152 points. 5 points back into the final round is Bunnies on 147. 123 points for Ajax puts him 29 points off the back of Wendigo. Wendigo would need to finish last place with Ajax winning, or Wendigo rage quits. That's the only... It has to be 16th or a rage quit from Wendigo, or a failure to show up. That is the only way Ajax can win the championship, bearing in mind that he'd also have to outscore Bunnies by a fair bit in that case. Everyone behind that is not in the championship fight anymore mathematically. That's a lie, actually. Ben is technically in with a shot, but it would require Wendigo to either not show up or rage quit. Even dead last for Wendigo would put him ahead of Ben in the championship. But if Ben wins the next race, he could well put himself into a good position for third, or maybe it'll be a stretch, but maybe even second in the championship. Everyone else is out of championship contention. Your top 4 mathematically still is. Your top 2 reasonably still is. 5th place is Gasman on 109 points. Bonimus will be 6th with 96 points. Tamo 7th on 84. Aloe 8th on 82. Rob on drums 9th on 66. Slenderfellow will remain on 62 points in 10th. Punisher will go up to 51 points in 11th. Climicision, 47 points after that win, boosting himself well up the order into 12th. Lynchmus in 13th will be on 28 points. Kaiser on 17 points in 14th place. 15th for Alpha Capri on 13 points. Ragemus will move up to 16th on 13 points. Jam still in 17th on 5 points. Tiny Terror will enter the conversation on 4 points. And 19th will be Mr. Smith on 3 points. As I said, that is provisional, but that is potentially your championship standings. As for the constructors, it is even closer. You thought 5 points was close between the top 2 in the drivers? It's 1 point between the top 2 in the teams. It's 219 points for Williams, 1 point ahead of Cadillac on 218 points. And not much further behind, only a further 13 points back, is Ferrari on 205 points. Now we're starting to get to the teams that are a bit more out of contention. I think mathematically you can get 55 points out of a race weekend at a maximum. Toro Rosso, therefore, is out by 1 point of Constructors' Championship contention. If my math is correct. It is, I think. I'm not very good at math, but if it's right. If I'm right, Toro Rosso by 1 point is out of contention. They sit on 163 points, which I believe puts them 56 points behind Williams. McLaren sit a further 3 points back in 5th on 160 points, so that is a very close battle for 4th. Audi is on 136 points in 6th. Lotus on 123 in 7th, and Matra moves up to 20 points in 8th. Again, that is all provisional, but that may well be the standings going into the final round. In the meantime, though, I will say again, take a bow, Climicision, what a drive to take the win. Take a bow, Ben, what a drive to take second. And take a bow, Wendigo, what a drive to take third on triple hards. We have a championship battle coming up for you next time out. I can't wait to see how that goes. Thank you to everybody who watched. We'll see you next week. Good night.